Hill called Candidate Source. Michelle, good morning.
Good morning, Adrian.
What is Candidate Source, first off?
We help recruitment agencies find candidates for the jobs that they're looking to recruit for.
Okay, and is that across the piece? Is it all kinds of jobs or any kind of particular niche?
It's all kinds of jobs, mainly engineering or office jobs, and we do some IT, but we take across the piece and across the county.
Okay, so if recruitment agencies are looking for people, you help them.
Yes.
You help find the candidates who might go for the jobs that they've got to offer. So then, how has it been post-Brexit?
Well, June was our busiest month this year. We had more vacancies sent to us to find candidates for than we had at any other month. And July, we're anticipating that that's actually going to increase with another 20% of vacancies compared to June. So we are enjoying it.
So it sounds like business is booming.
Yes, we're getting a lot of vacancies. We're getting a lot of inquiries for apprenticeships as well, which is something that we haven't seen before this month. So clearly companies are looking to the future and looking to the possibility of getting people in now and skilling them up in time for any changes.
Oh, I suppose because companies are conscious of the fact that it will be more difficult perhaps to allow a migrant from Eastern Europe or another part of the continent to come into the country with the skills they need. So maybe they're now going to have to go back to basics and train up a few young people.
Yes, I mean, it's a possibility that might happen. Obviously, we don't know yet.
Yeah.
But companies are certainly looking at how we will be able to fill that skill gap if that does happen. And apprenticeships are a brilliant way of getting people in, getting them trained up, giving them a vocation that they can actually put on a CV and start their career moving forward.
Of course, we don't know really what the long-term impact is. We can't know yet what the long-term impact is of leaving the European Union. But before the vote, there was a lot of concern.
Yes.
That business would be affected. And, we've seen at one level, the value of the pound has plummeted and all that sort of stuff. But as I observed at the time, that's not necessarily bad for British businesses because you can export more cheaply if the pound's at a low level.
You can. And for a lot of local businesses who work within the region, they're seeing this very much at the moment as business as normal, that the vote has gone. We know that there's now going to be a delay in finding out definites, and people are just, getting their head down and getting on with the job.
Yeah, and you say June was your busiest month, so obviously that would include 3 weeks of June before the vote then. So, again, in some parts of business, you hear this suggestion that people are putting investment decisions on hold, but in your particular business, maybe the prospect of Brexit or the fear of Brexit meant that people were pushing forward their plans for recruitment and, as you say, apprenticeships.
Yeah, and I think that's followed with candidates as well, because the recruitment consultancies that we're speaking to and ourselves, we're finding that more people are applying for jobs now than were earlier in the year. So I don't think it's just companies that are planning their future, but I think it's also candidates that are thinking, well, if I am going to change job, if I am going to look for the next career, then this is the time to do it, rather than waiting until after changes come into play.
Yes, because if in the same way that if you're a company who might find it harder to get people from other countries to come and work here, and therefore you need to think about skilling up the British local workforce, by the same token, if you are a member of our local workforce, it might be more difficult for you to go to other countries to work if there are restrictions on immigration and emigration, which means that you need to get yourself skilled up as well.
Yes, and I think people want to feel settled before any changes happen, rather than trying to change themselves in something that might be quite uncertain.
That's absolutely fascinating. Thanks for your time this morning. That's Michelle Davies, Managing Director of Coleshill-based Candidate Source, a company who help out recruitment agencies. So, Michelle, there's some really interesting insights there, I think, about how companies are anticipating what might happen when we actually do trigger Article 50. This is the thing that means that we do officially set in chain the proceedings for leaving the European Union. Companies realising maybe we can't be so reliant on migrant labour anymore, so we're going to skill up our own apprentices. And equally, individual workers saying we might find it tougher to move and work abroad from Britain, so we need to get some extra skills as well. Absolutely fascinating.